What's going on, guys? Welcome back once again. Today we're talking about nozzle fitment. This is probably the most important part of your build. I don't care if you have a $800 or $900 build. If your nozzle fitment is dog shit, that thing's pretty much worthless because it ain't going to be working right. So I see this all the time, and in fact, just a couple weeks ago, hold on one second, let me pull this up. This was brought to me, and I said, "Dude, this is brand new. What's up?" And he said, "I'm having feeding issues." And I went, "Okay, well, first thing I usually do is check the nozzle. 9 times out of 10, all you guys need to do is lubricate your nozzles. You do have to lubricate these. When I see this, I do teach people how to do it real quick. So you got to do this every time you come play Airsoft. Check your nozzle, make sure it's lubricated. Otherwise, you're going to be having feeding issues or other issues. You could crack your nozzle, now you're going to need a new nozzle." Went ahead and I checked his nozzle, pulled down the nozzle and saw the blowback unit and went, "Oh man, okay." So he had one of these multiple O-ring piston designs. I've seen this before on the LA Capo where he had the one in the middle. I ended up having to take that one in the middle out. This guy brought one to me and I saw that. I went, "Man, this nozzle is not fitting good. Let me just try this." I took out that middle one. I think I maybe fitted the front one too, but I fit his nozzle for him and he was good. That was it. So this kid, I told him, "Yeah, it's all these O-rings on here. This piston design, I've seen something like this before." And I did think it was the LA Kappa, but when I was pulling this up, I was able to just kind of zoom in here. That one has the neck speed. Now the neck speed's got like 6 O-rings on it or something like that, something crazy. And I was like, yeah, I would recommend pulling some of these O-rings, fitting the nozzle better, and just go from there because the nozzle fit was just horrible. It was dog shit. The nozzle was snagging. It was not moving freely at all. It was like stuck. I was like, oh boy. Alright, so we're going to go ahead. I've got the 2 basic nozzles that you're going to probably be able to get a hold of. We got the edge and the garter. Although this edge one is a little bit different color. It looks a little darker purple instead of lighter blue. I don't know. I think they changed something. But I've got the stock TM blowback unit and the Edge version 2 blowback unit. So let's go ahead, check the stock TM blowback unit. We're going to turn this upside down. We're going to let it drop. Okay, it kind of dropped a little bit. There it goes. Okay. That's actually really good. Okay, there we go. There we go. That's perfect. Gets stuck there at the end on the piston head. And if you pull it off the piston head, you can actually sort of feel it release. So that's what you want. You don't want it to drop, just fall right off. You don't want it to get stuck and not come off at all. You want it to slowly slide down. That's a perfect seal. So for the TM, I do recommend the Edge Blue. Now the garter nozzle, I could tell right away, right there, it gets stuck. That is a bad fit. Do not use the garter nozzle with these. You're going to have a bad fit. Alright, now let's go to the Airsoft Masterpiece. Same as the other one. Now we've got a perfect fit. It doesn't just drop, slowly moves down the piston. The lubrication is actually creating the seal. That's a perfect fit. And this is normally the setup that I use. Version 2, garter nozzle. I use this in all of my builds. That way I know when it goes out the door, it's not coming back for that. Now we're going to use the now we're going to use the blue on the version 2. the edge blue on the version 2 now. That was a little bit looser. Now, like I say, this looks like a different color. It looks darker, but the other edge blue nozzles I would not use on these blowback units because they're just too loose, just fall right off. Now this one, I guess you could probably play around with some O-rings and get that to fit a little bit better, but for this, I would say no. That's too loose. I don't have the stock TM nozzle, but we already know that the stock TM nozzle is good. If you're replacing a nozzle, you're probably going to be going for one of these. For the tricky part, installing it back in the slide. Now if you're using the TM, this can be pretty annoying because once you try to put this guy in, you have to wedge it in the back and then push it up in the front and lock it in. Now with the rear sight on, you can't see that. And if you don't get it just right, that spring's going to jump out of there, and then you're going to have to take it right back out again. Which, by the way, go ahead and split the slide like that. Push up on the nozzle through the ejection port, and that'll come right out. Keep track of your spring. Yep, there it goes. Pew. Keep an eye on that sucker because it'll jump into the next dimension on you, just like when you drop a bolt, you know. Look away for a second, boom, it's gone. So, that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching. If you're new here, stay tuned. Hit that like and subscribe. I'm going to teach you guys everything I know. Everything I know, you'll know. As always, play with honor. Rock on.